I think I'm alone now. Doesn't seem to be anyone around.
What's that?
Just he's singing to himself. What?
That was just me on camera just singing.
Who was it?
Yeah, he's just singing to himself.
Hello, and welcome to the very first Lock-In podcast. The extra side to see the guys from Major Happenings have a little drink and talk about random stuff. So grab yourself a drink and join us for the next between half hour and hour. This is the first one. You'll probably get this from the vibe this has got, that there's no script. We've got no plan going into this.
Nope.
The only plan was that we pour ourselves a drink and talk about stuff. So has anyone got an opening topic to throw out there to begin today's discussion?
Yeah, I have. So a year and a half
Wow.
to get to this point. How are you guys feeling about, Major Happenings as a whole so far?
Well, it's had its ups and it's had its downs.
Has
Not
it?
too many downs.
No.
I think it's
Not
been...
too many, but there has been some massive dough moments.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Some
yeah,
of the highlights from the dough moments. So
Yeah.
when you're starting a YouTube channel, we kind of described that there's two ways to do it. You can either just start throwing stuff out there, which some people do really well, and it does really take off. But they don't have their studio space. They don't concentrate on lighting yet. They try and get that viewership first. So they'll film it on their phones.
Yeah.
They'll film it with whatever camera they've got knocking around, and they'll just throw it up there, and that works. There's also another route that we much preferred, where we wanted to get to a certain level of standard
Quality.
and then release it. Yeah, we wanted a
Yeah.
certain quality standard before we carried on and came out to you guys. That's why people who know us knew that we were starting this YouTube channel, and we're kind of expecting things within a couple of months, and they had to wait, almost 2 years for
It's been
something
2 years.
to actually arrive. But we think it's worth it. We're loving all the feedback.
We think it's worth it.
Yeah.
I should hope so.
No, there was a case where we've been like, right, we spent all this time getting to where we are now, and the videos still aren't anywhere near where we want them. But I can quite happily say I can watch the videos on my channel, which I do watch. I'm one of them people who watches his own videos, and can be proud of them. I'm happy with that. We've got a long way to go. Don't get us wrong. There's so much more we need to do. But even today, before shooting, we're saying that we're running out of hard drive space.
Yep.
Already.
We've got a third of that
that's
left.
Another big chunk of money that needs to go on that.
Yeah.
There's all things like that just keep turning up, and we're like, oh, we actually need to do that, we need to do this. So it's just these little add-ons now. We can function, but it's keeping ourselves watertight.
100%. I think, the main slog of this has been getting all of our stuff together, isn't it?
It's all coming to my mind now. Just saying it. I'm just remembering things like the camera and the noise and all that. The horrible. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was when we first got together.
Yeah.
One of the first things we realised when we were shooting was ISO levels, right?
Yeah.
ISO levels.
ISO. Yeah.
And because we got the camera, we got the lights, everything. Like, okay, yeah, we're ready for YouTube, and this is going to be super easy. And we turn the camera on, and there's noise everywhere, isn't there?
For those who don't do any sort of video editing, noise is when you look at a screen and there's that weird flickery sort of distortion around the main target.
Yeah.
You get it a lot, probably when you've seen wedding videos that have been done
Anything shot
by
in
a
the dark.
non-professional.
Anything
yeah.
shot in the dark.
And
as
there's
well.
that weird
Yeah.
effect going on around it. That's noise. So when we mention noise in iOS,
ISO.
I've always called it iOS since
You have?
we've been.
Yeah, you have,
literally the first time.
iOS is an Apple operating
It is an
system.
Apple operating system. We've had this for 2 years. This conversation has been going for 2 years now.
I still can't. I know it's wrong, but I still say it. So it's things like that. Sound as well. We've
Yeah.
also had to play around with that.
Yeah, that was a learning curve.
Studio space. We moved. That was another massive moment in
Yeah.
the channel.
We have this now. We have a dedicated space for filming, which is something we didn't have when we originally started. We
Yep.
were filming in mine and yours living room
Yep.
when we were living
Yep.
together,
Every Saturday we come round.
and it was awful, wasn't it? We had to set up. It'd take probably an hour to an hour and a half to set everything
easy.
up.
Yeah.
An hour to take down after it.
Blocking
you know.
daylight is one of the biggest faffs
We
around there.
went through so many methods of blocking daylight.
Just to save people time. If you're thinking of starting a
Yeah,
YouTube
let's save you some
channel,
time right now. Yeah.
First thing we tried was a cardboard cover, which is very expensive for what it is because it constantly gets damaged. It's an absolute faff because we had the 2 large windows and then one of those, I'll describe them like patio-y door
Yeah,
sort
so
of
just
style.
it's
So it's like a glass door.
Conservatory type
so that's
door
a
thing,
lot of daylight to cover. So we tried to do it with blocks of card, which I think cost us around 25 quid.
It did cost us a lot of money.
So wasn't it? Were they A4 sheets?
Yes, they
taped
were.
together, weren't they? Into
It was
which we
awful.
probably used about 2 or 3 times and went, this is not sustainable.
Yeah, no.
We're going to have to buy something big to do this.
Yeah.
Then we watched some YouTube videos. YouTube has really helped us with a lot of these things. Watched some YouTube videos and tinfoil, which if we were still there, we'd still be using now. Yes, it's still a faff of rolling it up, but it sticks. You can get it to move into the cracks, and it's cheap. Poundland, you can get enough. I think a Poundland roll lasted us 2 shoots. So it was only £1 for every 2 weeks.
Not bad.
Which is good.
I can't believe we didn't think of that sooner. Because when you said, "Oh, like I found this method of doing it," it's like I think you saw it on Reddit or YouTube, wasn't it? You're like, I found this method, and it was just like that is so obvious.
I don't know why we didn't think of that. I know, yeah.
And so easy. Just put it top, tape the top. You can actually do. I think one weekend I did it on my own.
Did you?
Yeah, I think you just hold the roll there, drop the roll, stick that, and then you go down to the bottom and cut it and stick it. Easy. So if you're trying to start in getting issues with daylight, maybe your curtains aren't thick enough. Just tinfoil it. But now the room we're in, we've gone the next level up, and we've now got a soundboard.
We do.
That's fit to the window.
Yeah.
Don't expect you if you're just starting out on your own. The bonus we've got is we've joined it as a 3.
Much easier.
Which all our costs are split, all our editing times are split. If you do have friends in a similar vein who want to do the same sort of channel with you, I cannot say how much of a bonus it is to go through it with other people who can bring their expertise into the same.
100%. I think when we kind of first started out, like thinking to do this, to do major happenings, and like I remember having the conversation with you, Adam, on like what my vision for it was and what I wanted it to be, and you were just like, okay, yeah, let's go do it. Let's just go do it. We'll put the money in and we'll just go do it. And then, obviously you worked with Jeff and, we're always talking to him about it. How did that actually go down between you two? How did you actually...
I know exactly how it is, but I want to see it from your memory. How do you remember it? Because I actually thought about this because I thought it'd come up.
Did you? Oh, okay, I've not remembered this for a while. Did you? No, I don't know, actually. I really don't know.
So basically, both of us vape. So
we do. Yeah.
You're automatically into a
I cringe when you say that, but we do. Yeah. So that's
it's just a fact.
Yeah, it is.
So it's one of those things. You're automatically in a smaller group because you're the ones that will go outside every hour. So you automatically start speaking to less people because we're a similar age.
And you talk a lot.
And you end up talking to that person and in
specifically
similar teams.
You.
Yeah. We then found a joint love for Total War. Which is a computer game which I'm sure which will be coming to the channel. We both happen to have the same one. We wanted to play online. We both had Skype. We both had laptops. Bang.
Yep.
So we had that sort of conversation about vaping, and then we also talked at night
a lot
while playing.
Yeah.
And eventually it came up that I was starting a YouTube channel, but we had no idea about sound. You happened to say, actually, I think you began it by saying I was making some audio for a video game.
Yeah, I was at the time, yeah.
And
I was doing some work on a video game.
We're trying to do a YouTube channel, but have no idea about audio. You went, that sounds brilliant. Originally, I think you were thinking of doing it for just to learn it. You were only going to do it for a short time. It was very, very, very early on.
Yeah,
it
wasn't going to
do a couple of episodes just to.
Yeah, we didn't intend for it to be such a thing that it is. 2 years. We didn't intend for that. I think I was going to give you a bit of a rundown on what to do and how to go about it, and then that would be it. But
so after work, I said, you come back to meet Chris, who you had no idea you actually knew when I was
of course, we had met previously.
We've also worked together,
about,
funnily enough.
3 years prior to that? 2013.
2013,
we met and we didn't meet again until 2016.
Nope.
Which is kind of weird, isn't it? Like, I find that really crazy that we'd met before.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
5 years later, here we are sat in this room doing a podcast, drinking Jack Daniels, So, I think that's really cool. It's almost like it's meant to be, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
It felt right when we met up that time and we sort of just threw around some ideas. You guys had a plan already. I remember you had that business plan.
We have a business plan. We really did take it seriously.
Far more organised than I've ever been with anything in my life. So I was like, okay, they have a business plan. This maybe has some potential, So
Yeah, because I can remember you saying to me, this guy Jeff in work, like, he knows a lot about sound and stuff. He's interested in doing the YouTube channel. And I think at the time as well, we were like, oh, should we bring more collaborators on this early? Do we want to do that? And then, when you came in and just like, gave your thoughts on it, what you wanted to do, I think it was just like, yes, okay. When people are clicking together straight away, you just know it, don't you?
It filled the gap as well, because between the three of us,
if you break down our skill
sets, in completely different areas of making a YouTube video. Yes, there's still gaps between them, but it was stuff we could learn between the three of us and kind of bring our expertise
100%,
yeah. Do you want to kind of run down what you kind of see what you bring to the channel?
Yeah, but don't start with me.
Okay. we'll go in a line because it just looks visually more appealing. So,
okay.
Chris, what do you feel you bring to the channel? And I won't shoot you down.
So I probably
no, you don't bring that. You lies.
Okay, so I've probably I've had the most experience in video editing, so I was very much leading the charge on that. But you guys have pretty much caught up in that regard.
But without you, we wouldn't have been able to catch up.
Yeah.
Because you could. That's the bonus where you can teach the other ones what you know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just going off topic, except we're eventually trying to make us all cross-skilled in each of our skills anyway, so we can
a useful tip,
individually run the channel without the other two there. Should we be on holidays and things like that. But I was very much like the video editor first and foremost. And I had it clear in my head that we wanted to use Adobe Premiere.
Yep, you were not moving on that.
You were not moving on that.
So how much does Adobe cost, Chris? It's this, but
it's a lot.
We need it. Is it not a free one? No. We're using that one.
Well, this is it, because back when we were doing Bad Pasty and we were having a blast on that.
We'll go back to that.
I was using Windows Media Movie Maker. Bad. That was ridiculous.
We're not saying that you can't do it. Like I said before, some people just want to throw videos of it. You can use it.
You can use it, yeah.
But when you can afford, another bonus of having three of us, we can split the cost of a Premiere Suite.
Yes.
And the amount it can help you with is amazing.
Yeah, 100%. I think even though I wanted the Premiere, the Adobe license and the Adobe Creative Cloud, I don't think I realized just how much we needed it until we actually got into the
Me neither.
Until we waded in and we were editing and we were making visual effects, lower thirds, the things for the start of our the motion graphics for the start of our videos. We couldn't have done that without Adobe. So video editing was my forte, which I brought to it. A lot of the I guess the presentation ideas, the look and feel of the channel, all the graphics and stuff like that have been a lot of my designs.
I would say the heart of the channel was your idea. I will quite happily hand that over to you, because you were the one that pitched it to me first, then I pitched it to Jeff. So.
Yeah, I came up with a name for Major Happenings, which I wanted as a show for our previous YouTube channel. I was just like, that name was in my head. It kind of just said a lot of things. It was just very zeitgeisty, we're talking about the here and now, we're talking about things that are going on. And that name was just stuck in my head. And then I was always just designing logos for shows, just for fun, and I designed that Major Happenings logo just like off the top of that, and it was just sat there. I was just like, that'd be cool as a channel, you know. And then when we got together, that was just the name that struck out at me straight away. So that's everything I kind of brought to the table. What about you then, Adam?
Well, my background is in acting. I've actually got a degree in acting for stage and screen. But with the acting side, a lot of people think it's just how to act, but it's not. During that degree, I learned how to sell what I was doing and how to run basic small businesses. So I've kind of brought a lot of that to it in the early stages of how to break down, how to do a business plan, how to do your sort of goals 1, goals 2, how to pitch it. In fact, I pitched it to the third member.
You did.
And I've pitched it to a few other people who are now on board and willing to help us in the future, and hopefully I'll pitch it more. I probably would take lead on pitches if we were going to large business meetings and things like that, just because it's what I've done before.
Trying to get some dentists investing in
or anything like that, but that's kind of where I came from, was more that in front of camera stuff, and then we come over to Jeff for the other side.
Yeah, and I'm completely different again. I have a degree in my area, music and sound, that kind of thing, and I've done a few things for video games, which is what I was doing at the time when we first got sort of together. other than that, I just make music most of the time. But I know the technical side a little bit more than you might do otherwise because of my degree, basically. But we kind of, I don't know, we've definitely had a learning curve though. I wouldn't say that with the lights, it's been the same with the sound as well, to be fair, like finding the right sort of microphones, picking the interfaces, that sort of thing, building what you can't see behind the camera now, but there's a lot of sound treatment here as well, isn't there, we've installed over the past year and a half maybe. That was all a bit of a learning curve.
Probably with all of us, when you're in uni doing this sort of thing, you've got all this equipment free to you. The uni has it.
That's a big thing, yeah.
And then you have to try and work out, right, I need that sort of equipment, but for a tenth of the budget.
For a tenth of the budget, yeah.
Without going too cheap that there was no point in you having it.
Yeah,
you don't have to replace it in 3 weeks.
Yeah, you don't want degrading quality, but you do want the same functionality that you had in uni.
Where's your learning been in where to search for this stuff? Where have you got most? Because YouTube, I mentioned before, I found a lot of stuff by watching YouTube videos of people who are starting out. But where have you found any others?
It's a really good question. YouTube is up there, I think. On the sound side of things, YouTube is definitely up there. You can do everything from post-processing the voices to suit YouTube. There are guys on YouTube who've done tutorials on that. That's pretty useful. I think for me though, probably just books that I had in uni. Not that I bought any of those books, they're all PDFs.
You read to find this stuff
they're all...
What's wrong with you?
No, let me clarify. No. I downloaded a PDF and I pressed Control F and I searched for the relevant quotations and put them in essays. That's what I did. I didn't read for uni, but it worked, so, you know. Yeah, for me it would be that sort of thing, I suppose, though. Yeah. But YouTube's definitely a close second for me, definitely.
Yeah. The amount of stuff I've worked out to do through YouTube for this YouTube channel has been. We sat and watched probably about half hours on lights.
Yeah. I think it's good for a working knowledge, which is what you want, especially when you've started a channel and we're kind of in it. Like a year in, I think the entire way from day one we just wanted to start filming. And it took quite a long time to get from planning to filming, and I think YouTube was perfect to just get the working knowledge to kind of hit the ground and just start doing something.
Yeah.
But I would say probably on the downside is not so much, like we know what to do now to make a video look half decent and sound pretty good, but we might not know the science behind that as well as we will maybe in another year when we've kind of just learned from experience. There is something to be said for that as well.
Yeah, 100%. It was like everything from the video shooting, where you're learning the ISO settings. Like recently, the most recent thing we've been learning is chroma and green screen and how you can really screw that up.
Yeah.
For example, we had no idea that having anything black on a green screen was a big no-no.
Right, okay.
Because what happens when you get a green screen up is you almost have to change the levels of everything, don't you? You alter the shadows and stuff like that to mask different aspects of the video that's shot behind you.
Is that kind of to try and, so if you've got a black that's too similar to the green, you have to try and make the black more black than green to try and differentiate? That's
you've got to try and, it's really weird, you've got to try and like push the levels as much as you
kind
can.
Of thing, are we talking? Yeah, right, okay.
So you've got to try and bring, I guess, the lights up as far as you can and the shadows as low as you can, and it kind of filters everything out and gets that really solid green screen look.
This heavily scientific conversation right here is probably the perfect example of what I've just mentioned, that we kind of have a working knowledge, but to some video experts out there that are listening to our terminology, you're probably screaming in pain right now because
100%.
But this works. But it works.
Yeah,
this is what this is what works.
The issue we had with it, wasn't it, was because we had a shine. I don't think it was as much black as shiny black, because it was the light that shines on the top of the telly that you just can't get rid of. Because there's no shadow there to get rid of, so you're trying to get rid of it, and it's just this yellow circle in the middle of your green screen that you just can't get rid of. So we were having to cut out parts of the video and make them completely black.
For our first videos for it,
Talking of the light on the TV, in your guys' opinion, just as a kind of a side question, really, then, what would you say the top 3 kind of reoccurring problems are, the most, you kind of bugbear gripes? Like, I'm thinking of the TV that you mentioned, the light. Like every week we always obsess about the light reflecting off the
3
TV.
3 problems that we've not solved yet.
Okay, 3 that we haven't solved yet. Okay, yeah, and we'd appreciate some solutions too, maybe. Yeah.
You got any that?
Oh, I got loads. Yeah.
Confident.
Okay, you start then.
You can go for it.
Up until recently, you couldn't help when we didn't have this lovely table. You weren't able to get through a video without ruffling your side.
You'll
of
notice
the
that
table.
on episode. Which
one,
ones?
1 through 15.
You're 1 through 15, yeah. You'll see that on quite a few episodes, yeah.
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 What else have I got? Oh yeah, like you.
Is this mainly just things I do wrong?
Yeah.
Well, let's just wait and see.
Yeah, you insist upon getting the bus to shoot.
I heard about that. What happened there? I mean, you got the bus and you wore a coat on a day like today. I mean,
Shall I explain?
Maybe you should give the backstory. No, I would give the backstory. Yeah.
There's a little story to this.
Yeah,
right.
there is.
And okay, so we've just recently moved into the studio. Me and Adam used to live together, so shooting together in that sense was easy. Though it's easier now to shoot here because we've got it all set up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so he lives on the other side of the city, which. From post to post.
It's not a big city is an overstatement here. I mean, it is a city, but we're talking probably the smallest city you could have.
25 minutes to walk it.
It's a large town-sized city.
It's Chester.
It's Chester. I mean, Google it. You look at a map. It's not that big.
No.
Yeah,
and Adam lives near. I live near the racecourse. Adam lives near the train station. I literally walked from here to the train station last week, and it took me a grand total of 22 minutes. And Adam insists. On every Saturday for a shoot, insists upon getting the bus over here, and it's a 20-minute walk. Literally, it's like an S shape. That's all he has to do.
Yeah, just 20.
Just a nice,
pretty direct.
And he insists upon getting the bus because he has a bus pass. And
did you have a bus pass? I didn't know you had a bus pass.
I will explain.
Is that why he does it?
I will explain my points in a minute why I do it.
And to me, that just
I did not know you had a bus pass.
It's the most incredibly lazy thing in the world because it's a 20-minute walk, and he wants to just sit on the bus and look at his phone and play his apps, and then he has to walk 5 minutes down the road from when it drops him off anyway, so it's probably the same distance. But yeah, we had a bit of a back and forth on it this morning, didn't we?
Yeah.
Do you want to explain your side of it?
So this is my thought process on
Let's
it.
hear the defense.
You've said how ridiculous this sounds. So to get to work, I have to buy this weekly bus pass that costs me £12, and that gets me back into work, which is longer than the 22 minutes. It takes me about 45 to an hour to walk it, there and back. And after a day at work, I don't really walk in an hour. I don't want to walk an hour to get to work. So this is a bus pass I already have. It's about 2 minutes from my flat to the bus stop. And I have a bus ticket that allows me to do it for free. So I see it as the equivalent of, we're going to Tesco's now, Jeff's driving, oh no, I'll walk it. The free offer's there.
That's not the same. Hang on, if you go from let's say you get the bus and it drops you off where it drops you off. We know where that is, don't we, down near the racecourse, yeah? Is that right? Yeah? How long does it take you to walk from that point to here?
About 5 minutes.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Because you cut through the racecourse.
Oh, you go through the racecourse.
Why are you going for the racecourse?
You don't mind me going through.
Did you go through the racecourse just like
You're
that?
taking the long way.
Am I?
Well, not if you're taking the bus. If you're walking, you walk to Telford's, you walk straight up all the way to the bus station, all the way down. That's what I'm saying. It's a straight line.
Yeah. But
All you do is cross Brook Street,
it's
straight past the bus station, straight past Telford's. And
it's
you're there.
22 minutes, and I have the offer
Yeah,
to
but
get
22
15 minutes of that for free.
22 minutes to
I've
the
already
train
got the bus ticket.
to the train station, so you can shave 3 minutes off that.
Okay.
So we're looking at 19 minutes.
Then you got to bear in mind there's often a wait for the bus.
Yeah, and
Buses
it's late.
aren't great.
It's
But
late.
I've already paid my hard-earned money to get that for a week, and I only used it for 5 days. Why not use it for 6?
But
I'm already paying for that money
you're already
for it.
paying for it, but it's a false economy to say that you're getting more value out of using it just because you've already
Of course
paid
it's not,
for
'cause
it.
I'm getting an extra day out of it.
Nah, it doesn't
I've
make
saved
sense.
myself walking 20 minutes
But you've-
for something I've already paid for.
But that's a healthy activity. Walking, you might,
It's
you know,
nice
Of course
walk.
it is.
It's
So
a
cycling.
lovely day.
Yeah.
It's so cycling. I don't want to do that when I go home from work either.
You just
But
want
this
to-
is the psychology of we're getting more to the root of the psych. Maybe this is more, this is maybe more telling now. So you don't want to do that either.
you
I don't want to cycle after work. No, no, I don't. Quite simple. I don't want to do weights. I don't fancy a game of rugby with the lads.
So really, it's nothing to do with the bus pass, is it? It's nothing
It
to
is.
do with.
Of course, it is to
being
do with the
free.
bus pass, because if I didn't have the bus pass, I wouldn't be paying £4 to get here. I'd walk it. But I have that bus pass readily available to me for free, that I can just walk 3 minutes, then just go on my phone and research what's
Yeah,
before.
I can concede some of the logic there. Fair enough. So explain to me, what's the temperature today?
In here.
Well,
in this
in this room it's hot, but outside 20 degrees today?
Yeah,
If not
I'd say
warmer
so.
than that, it's pretty warm. Why the coat?
My coat reason.
The big
is,
coat.
For context here, and for the listeners as well, Adam insists, I'm using the word insist a lot, but he insists upon wearing a big parka coat in the start of the height of summer, really.
Yeah, it is warm. It is warm.
Yeah, so my points are. Number one, twice, 2 days in this hot summer, I've not worn it to work.
Yeah.
And it has rained heavily both times on the way home.
Okay.
And I've been completely unprepared. Everything's got wet. In fact, I ruined a white shirt because I had this denim jacket on that got, when it gets wet, you know, when like the colouring comes through.
Oh, yeah.
I wrecked a white shirt.
Not
so
that I own a denim jacket,
Yeah.
but I know what
But
you mean.
It's in the bin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That isn't a waterproof jacket that you're wearing. The
No, I know.
parka isn't waterproof.
Yeah,
It's insulated, isn't it? It's
The
insulated.
parka can cope with. The parka is good enough to cope.
But
It's way
it's
better
not
than a
what
denim
you.
jacket.
If you knew you were going for a trek in the rain, you wouldn't wear that, would you? You'd
No,
go for a rain mac.
But for the short periods of time I'm in the rain, that does a lot better. So that's logic one.
Okay.
It's just because I've been caught.
Okay.
in the rain
Okay,
twice.
but let me challenge that. Do you keep it on while you're on the bus?
I don't do it.
I knew it.
Honestly.
Okay.
Yes.
Point
okay.
two.
Point two, I know. What's point two? That was just 1 point, wasn't it? Oh, you point two.
brilliant.
Sorry, you're
my,
point two.
My point two
Yes, yeah.
is because I wear it for work and to come here,
Yeah.
I keep pretty much the entirety of the things I need in my pockets of that coat.
I can believe that.
So I've got work passes always in there, keys are always in there, wallet is always in there, a spare phone charger is always in there.
That's fair. That's fair. I've got a rucksack with the same stuff in it. Yeah, that's fair.
Everything is always in that coat
Yeah,
pocket.
yeah.
If I change jackets, I have to move everything out of that coat into another jacket, which isn't too bad of stress. But then if I have to go back, I then have to move it, and I suffer quite badly. I used to do it in work all the time. You probably vouch for it. I have to go back to my drawer 3 times to double check I've got it. If I didn't have that coat, I'd constantly be tapping the pockets of whatever I was wearing, making sure all those items, one hasn't been forgotten.
See, I don't understand, right, why you don't just get yourself a nice work satchel, like the majority of people have, because they carry all everything in there, their lunch, their stuff, you know, all their things.
Oh, like me,
And
I've got a backpack. It's
yeah,
perfectly,
I have a
perfectly
backpack.
decent,
Yeah, I
perfectly
take a backpack
decent.
to work, and I leave my work stuff in there.
Yeah,
all,
same.
all week,
Yeah.
you know. So
It's as easy for me to have the coat on and carry it so both my hands are free. Because when I'm walking, I know you can put the backpack on your back.
And the
but
satchel
I
on your
basically
shoulder?
use it the equivalent to most people use a satchel. I use all the pockets in this coat. And I'm comfortable. I know everything is always in that coat.
But if, like today, on a really hot day, you know, I mean, you turned up with a pretty wet back today. What if it's too hot for the coat? What are you?
Part of that was
what are
stress
you-
as well.
Stress?
why you were stressed?
Are you
Yeah,
stressed?
'cause I couldn't get in because it was the races. And
Is that because you took the bus down there and it took you to the wrong end of
No,
town?
I took the bus down there and then I tried to walk through the race course as I normally do to
Yeah.
get in, and that gate was locked. So I tried another
It is
way,
the
and that
races,
gate
yeah.
was locked.
I'm not.
Then I tried
bu-
another
no,
way,
you
and
know
there were
what?
loads of people putting barriers and stuff.
I'm not
up.
buying this. You can try and talk your way out of it all you want. You can't beat science. You are wet because you are wearing a parka
I do
in
think
20
that-
degrees
Maybe
weather.
true, yeah.
That will also add to it,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't have been walking for as long.
But
in
let's
the
say,
sun
okay,
if
but
I
that's fine.
got there.
That's retrospective. What I'm saying to you though is, in the future, if you do take a journey, let's say a stroll, what do you do if you can't wear a coat? What do you have a backup item?
No. Eventually, when it is constantly hot, and it
Yeah.
probably will happen over the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I will move all the stuff that I know is very safe in
Yeah,
that coat pocket
yeah.
into an equivalent summer. I've also just moved, as we
Equivalent
mentioned
summer
before.
what? Equivalent.
Equivalent coat.
A summer coat.
He's got his summer coats.
I've got a summer coat.
A summer coat. What's a summer coat?
It kind of looks a little bit. Haley describes it as my Morrison's jacket. You know, the workers at Morrison's have that sort of
What, like on the meat
jackety
counter?
coat. No, the guys who push the trolleys. It's kind of like
I
a
know
Scott
what he
Morrison's,
means.
body
but
warmer.
No,
black.
what he means is, and you'll probably know, he means a Harrington jacket. That's what he has.
What's a Harrington jacket? I'm not up on
It's
this.
like a bomber jacket.
Oh, okay.
Almost like a lightweight bomber jacket, not quite
Really?
as light as a bomber.
With the little bit of collar.
Yeah,
thing.
a little bit of a
I
collar.
know
Yeah,
you
that's
mean.
what he means.
Right,
That
okay.
will become my summer coat, and I'll do the whole changeover of knowing all these items are safely in that coat, and I know I can just wear that coat.
Okay.
But because I've moved, and I want to put this in the most polite way to Haley. Haley likes, or because Haley works around clothes and stuff and needs to have lots of changes and stuff like that.
Well, she's a model,
Because it's
so
her
she-
job.
yeah.
Her priority was to make sure all her clothes are easy to get to. So she currently has the wardrobes that we have. We've now recently got another one last weekend. But our wardrobe space was set out for her dresses and her sort of stuff. So I was still kind of living out of a suitcase, and it's also a faff because I know that jacket is in one of them. But as soon as I go into that spare room and start rummaging in which suitcase this is in, I'm going to have clothes everywhere, and that's 2 hours. I'm working very hard at the minute. Of my free time that I'm going to lose.
Yeah, fair,
Just looking for that.
okay.
So currently, the easiest way for me is just to keep wearing that parka, and I don't get overly. I may have looked a bit damp today, but I'm not uncomfortable. It's not bothering. It's not bothering me. And let's be honest. Let's go to the roots of this. If I'm happy, then fuck everyone else. It's me who's wearing it.
That's fair. I can only agree with that. That's fair. That's fair.
Well, you know what? You went on I think you've justified yourself somehow in your tirade somewhere.
So that's the second thing. So the second thing to bring us to try and create some semblance of organisation. We what was the question?
We were talking about gripes.
Wait.
I was just like, oh, this is a tangent.
Do you have any gripes, Adam? Do you gripe about the way that we gripe about you?
Yeah, my gripes mainly are that you two just
pick on you.
Yeah, want to pick on me.
I'll be honest. I wouldn't have done it if I didn't see Foster do it first.
So you're
That's worse.
I am saying that
You're the dweeby
I'm easily
bully
led.
follower.
I've
Yeah.
been easily led here. I don't usually drink, and I'm doing that, and that's because of
I do normally drink. That's why I'm drinking it neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We ran out of Coke. I didn't choose to drink it neat.
I think so.
It's nice.
Getting back to gripes, let's draw a line under this section about
Fair enough.
About Adam's weird ways,
Fair
which
enough.
I think might be a regular segment on.
But I think I
lock-in.
can always explain
We could
it.
do a rank bank on that.
We could do rank bank on
Do a
it.
rank bank
But to draw a line under it, I think you don't like walking, and your coat is your transportation
No.
method for carrying stuff.
I don't mind walking, but it's a route I do all the time, and it's not excitable or enjoyable for me. I quite like going exploring somewhere new, but it's the same walk I'd be doing again Monday night. But after I finish editing, I'd walk all the way here and then all the way back again. And on Saturday, all the way here, all the way back again. I haven't going down the canal or across the park. Lovely, love it. Walking here and back, nah. Especially on race day. Have you tried walking through town on race day?
No, that's fair. But on a race day, it's a
It's
rarity.
terrible.
I know what you mean. Yeah, it's
I think bus is better.
Okay, so gripes with shooting and editing and everything. What
yeah,
are
not
your
just
gripes?
personality flaws.
Cheers, guys.
I think like gripes wise, for me, it's mainly just I think at the moment it's just streamlining everything. And streamlining our processes. But that's something that's going to get better anyway.
Yeah.
But Adam, what are your gripes? And feel free to attack me.
I think you and I think you and I'll agree on one of my gripes. One of my gripes is time. Jobs. Having a
I've kind
full-time
of
job
alluded
is hard.
to it a little bit
That is tough.
in my coat defence. That
Why? We're trying to get away from the
I know,
code
but
defense.
I've already alluded to it. Just to say, it was even mentioned in that time is finite.
Yes.
And it's even more fun. If you're going to do this, even with 3 of us, this takes up a lot of our lives editing. Because we do.
I couldn't do it on my own.
We've got to like 4 videos a week. That's only going to go up.
It's a second job. It's a second job.
It is.
And I know Jeff is in the category with a child now. I have a fiance that wants to see me at least some part of the week. It's quite obviously doing her job as well. Her job.
You could have just said you've got a fiance and they'd have understood that, but she wants to see me didn't. That just.
Well, some fiancés don't want to see their partner.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
I want my free time, but because she doesn't work a 9 to 5. And I do. She can quite often be doing evening shoot. If her evening shoot is on a day where I'm not editing, that we've lost that night together, and it eventually comes down to. So, with this taking on so much of my free time, I can't really fit seeing her in around it. So you just have to bear that in mind when you're going to do this. That it will take up a lot of your time, and you need to be flexible.
Yeah.
But that's probably about it. It takes a lot of time.
What about you, Jeff?
I think you've covered most of the main ones.
Buses and coats.
I think that most of them have been covered. Other than that, the rest of it's really enjoyable.
Yeah, well, let's flip it round then.
There's way more positives than more negatives.
What are the highs?
There's loads of highs.
Let's go our way back. We'll start with you.
I mean, okay. So the highs for me are. What else would I do with a Saturday? No. So the highs.
Go for a walk. Have a walk.
The highs for me, probably. I think, like you said it the other day. Looking back upon what you've achieved even though it is hard work and you do sacrifice time and money, you look back at that page now and you see content on there. That is definitely a pretty rewarding feeling, you know, looking at that sort of thing. But the highs as well are just having a laugh. I mean, it's a job, but it's not a job like any other I've ever had. You know, you don't feel like you're ever really working, really.
No.
You know, even when you're doing the edit, which in my opinion, I'm the most least experienced with that here, and that can be quite tough. It takes me longer than it does you guys. But even at that point, I'm still enjoying watching and creating something and being a bit artistic with it. So it's totally, that is really fun. Yeah, that's really rewarding, I think.
Yeah.
That's probably my biggest high, is probably just the fact that it doesn't feel like a job. Yeah, I would say. Yeah. What about you guys?
My high is working with these two all the time.
Oh.
It's just nice. We've got a nice little friendship.
We've got
going.
you like emotionally dependent. It's like we bully you and then you just it's hard. It's awful. It's really awful.
Yeah,
we need to break the cycle.
We're not good spokespeople for
I don't feel good about this anymore. No,
Cut!
Just let me wear my coat, guys. it's not doing you any harm. No, the highs are, it's really fun doing it. I love seeing the comments when people comment back and I've enjoyed it, and it starts that discussion. I only want more of that. I want to have people having discussions and telling us what they want and letting us know what they didn't like. I'm just as happy to get negative comments as I am. I'm used to it with these two, so I'm quite used to it.
Yeah, because I don't think our motivator is money. I don't think that's I think our motivator is that feeling of having somebody comment and having that connection.
Our motivator is the community, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's a big
community.
Yeah, and I know that sounds corny and everyone says that it's not money, but genuinely I think if this was about money, we'd have made probably different decisions up until now that have been more money focused. We've been putting our own money in month by month the last 2 years, and we don't expect to ever really make any of this back. Or at least I don't really. You know, I'd be happy with just having a base of people that are quite enjoying it and kind of you're sort of bouncing back and forth. So that's certainly something I would say.
So yeah, the main things that I want to see with what else can we do with the channel is, like, you know, can we go to events with this? You know, what other stuff can we do with other YouTubers, collaboration and stuff? And that's the stuff I'm really excited about. And now that we've got this initial period sorted, we'll soon be in that position where we can start getting those things in line and start getting organised. And
we've done our first collaboration,
which was the marble racing video with what was
Crustville.
Thank you,
Crustville.
Crustville, yeah. Other things I'm excited about, and I guess this is a good kind of segue into talking about it, is our content.
So we've seen these guys will have seen in the trailer what is coming, the initial, because we showed it. Should we? I can't think of any off the top of my head, but you're really good with this. What has so far gone by the wayside? Is there any ideas we've had?
Oh,
that have
so
been
many.
Cool. Give us a few of
You'll
them.
have more.
Okay.
Yeah.
So many. I mean, like when we first started out, because I'm always overly ambitious. Overly ambitious.
Yeah, we kind of fall into categories.
We do. I'm the negative one.
And then I try and find the middle ground.
Yeah, you're the middle ground, but that works really well because we meet together.
I go, right, Jeff
kind
needs
of
this,
does.
Chris needs this,
Yeah.
so we're going for that.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, we can do this, and this. This
We
is
can
possible.
edit every night of the week.
And I'm like, hell no. I'm gonna kill myself.
Because I think when we were doing Bad Pasty and I was editing essentially what was a podcast into 5 segments, it was easy, but like with podcasts, as we will be with the lock-in, like, there's no editing to this. This is just pieced together and out it goes. You know, like that's it.
You say that now, but I've been thinking the whole time there's going to be editing here and editing there, and we're
On
going to cut
this?
this out. Yeah,
There's no editing on
Do you
this.
not think?
No, because of audio-wise.
See, that's what my brain says.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
My brain's like edit here, edit there.
No, on a podcast, it's
And
just
the
raw
negative,
and
right.
unfiltered. So that's where it's fine with this. So when I was doing Bad Pasty, they were all podcasts.
Right.
So I was segmenting them into the topic. So week by week, they were just coming out as what they were.
I didn't know that. Right,
So in my head, it was just like, yeah, this is easy.
Yeah.
But of course, like now that we're into it, we know that on a Fresh Happenings edit, especially on our early episodes, some of them were running for an hour, and we've kind of got it down to, which is a finite rule of thumb that I was taught back in media studies in high school, which was 10 minutes of footage is an hour's worth of editing.
is that where you got that from?
Yeah.
Okay, right.
And so like now when you're chopping a Fresh Happenings down and it's, 60 minutes and you're chopping it down, it's a long time to
My
edit, isn't it?
GCSE media studies was drawing posters. Yours seems much more advanced.
Also,
than
really
mine
good.
was.
We were editing videos. We
Wow.
still got some of our
We
videos.
never did that.
But we did prep.
They'll be coming.
Actually, what we should do, we should put out your media studies videos,
Yeah.
and we should use my teenage music years as backing music. We should collaborate from
Yeah.
16-year-old
Yeah.
Jeff, Chris, and Adam. That's what we should do.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, because I've got some shocking music to put on there.
I think
so
it's
that'd be
pretty much
great.
playing our strength as well, because you're on camera.
Yeah.
Now you're manning the camera.
An
I'm on
idea
camera,
has just
and
been
you're-
born here.
And
You're
you will be doing the
witnessing
sound.
a new idea has
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
been born here.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll do a collaboration from 10, 12 years ago.
That's
yeah.
gonna be awful.
So yeah, the content that we
Worse
were.
than you can imagine. Let me tell you now, worse than you can imagine. I don't know what you guys are bringing, but I'm bringing some shocking, shocking content there.
You wait.
We got some good quality stuff, haven't we?
I don't know. I think what we found funny back then, maybe a little close to the knuckle. Some of them.
Maybe there might
when
be
we,
some finite editing in there.
Okay. Okay. Right. Yeah.
So yeah, when we were out of editing videos in that initial stage, it was taking so fucking long. So we were like, oh, we need 5 episodes of Fresh Happenings that week. And then after the first week, it was crystal clear that that was gonna be hard. So we made the
Was
decision.
it a week we found out in? How long did it take?
Well, it was over a few days actually,
Was,
because we
wasn't
were
it?
like, "Oh, let's keep 5 going for a
Yeah,
while,
yeah,
and we'll
yeah,
see
yeah.
how we do."
Yeah.
And then it came to and at that time, like you guys weren't set up either in your routines or just with
No.
project files.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
doing a lot of the editing, so
Yeah, yeah.
in those first couple of weeks, I was pretty much doing stuff every night.
Yeah,
I
like
think
my-
by the end of
yeah.
it, I was just like, "Let's just take this to 3
my,
guys."
my first video was cut up but then finished by you.
Finished by me.
My
yeah.
second video then, I think you still put something on it at the end because I didn't have the files. It's only
Yeah.
now that I'm getting to the point where I'm finally doing the whole video. So yeah, the
We're
first couple of
finally
weeks.
just streamlined.
Yeah,
aren't we?
yeah. I don't know how
and-
you found it, but that was my
Well,
experience.
my biggest issue at the minute editing is I have to get the bus across town
to get to it.
to get
yeah.
to here because there's no PC at mine.
Well, we're working on getting a second PC, aren't we?
We are.
To get you
We are.
sorted there. So yeah, we obviously switched Fresh Happenings from 5 to 3, which has worked out a lot better. We can keep the quality of our content up. Everyone's still getting 3 episodes a week, and it just feels a lot better, doesn't it? Like all round for the audience and for
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
I know a few people wanted 5 episodes a week, and maybe one day we'll be back at a level where we can do
Yeah,
that.
hopefully that would be awesome.
We
that
will
would be
see.
awesome. Yeah.
But there was also, back to where we were beginning, I was also very ambitious about what I wanted to do with the channel. I'm sure we've got 4 core shows, but I also had in mind, I think 2 other shows we wanted to do.
I can think of 3 you've had.
Can you? I can think of We Hate Wrestling,
Yeah.
and there's a reason that didn't make the cut,
Is
which
there? What's the
wasn't.
reason? That just died. What was that? What was?
There's a reason for it, which we'll go
Okay,
into
okay.
now. There was We Hate Wrestling, and there was Dial J for Bung. What else was there?
Yeah.
Buskeezy.
Buskeezy, yes. Okay,
That's
was another.
gone. Bung it in the oven.
Bung It in the Oven.
That's
Well,
currently
I'd say I don't know if like Buskeezy or Bung It in the Oven
Bung
have
It-
gone. They've more
No,
just
no, but
been
they're
on
not.
the
They're
list.
not in. They were at one point looking like they could be in the.
Well, if you look at our Evernote, there's like 30, 40 shows all wrote down there, like show ideas on stuff we want to do.
I try to avoid the Evernote because I just look at it like it's like the sun. It's just too big to look at. It's just can't-
That's what's great about Major
But that's why
Happenings,
no,
isn't it?
absolutely no. It's
Major
a good thing
Happenings
to have. It
is a melting
Yeah.
pot of ideas,
Yes,
and we
yeah,
just got all
yeah,
these ideas
yeah.
on the go.
Yeah.
But originally we were going to do We Hate Wrestling and Dial J for Bung on top of the 4 shows we're already doing. I tell you what, I'll talk about We Hate Wrestling, and you can tell why we didn't do Dial J for Bung.
Yeah.
We Hate Wrestling was a podcast we were doing on Bad Pasty, and me and you were going to transfer it over as either a podcast or I think we were going to do a show actually. We're going to make it into a show.
Yeah. So it looked similar to Fresh Happenings.
For Major Happenings, yeah, and we were just going to talk about wrestling because that's a subject we and you are very well versed in, and we were going to very much corner it to internet reaction to wrestling because it's a very. For anyone who's a wrestling fan will know that wrestling fans are very volatile and angry
Yeah.
people.
I have no experience of this at all. I'm not a fan, but yeah.
But the whole idea was we were going to try and make it a bit more accessible to other people who don't need to watch wrestling to
Okay.
watch the show.
Right, okay.
There'd be some enjoyment to watch out of it of watching internet wrestling fans.
Yeah, so we wouldn't actually review any of the wrestling. We would review what the fans of wrestling were saying.
With some context.
With context
to
of
it,
why they are possibly saying that.
Right,
But
okay.
So it was going to be a different vibe to it, wasn't it? And
Not seen before, so don't nick the idea.
And the reason we didn't do it was because
Someone has done that.
Have
Not with
they?
wrestling.
With
but
something else,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
The reason we didn't do that was because YouTube last year, and for anyone who's a What Culture fan will know this, changed their policies and all wrestling content lost monetization on their videos. So as soon as that happened, it got cut from Major Happenings.
On a fresh channel, you can't afford to lose monetization on a huge
we take
chunk.
every penny we get is vital.
Yeah.
Everything we get is spent.
Yes.
Decisions are made and it's spent well. Yeah.
It was a niche subject, and one of the very niche really in terms of what Major Happenings is at the moment. It's quite varied, and we're kind of capturing everything. We Hate Wrestling was the most niche show, so it was an easy decision to go, okay, we're not doing it. If we can't make money from it, we can't monetize the channel, it has to go. Maybe one day we'll go back to it, but it would probably be on its own channel if it was to be that.
If we ever got big enough that we could afford to have spin-off channels,
we would do it, yeah. But I don't think we'd be doing it anytime soon because there's much more interesting content which more people would probably want to watch, which is in our wheelhouse, isn't it? So that's why we cut We Hate Wrestling. Why aren't you talking about Dal Jiffer Bung?
So Dal Jiffer Bung was an interesting idea. The character Jif Bung, well, we now know it is a character. He's basically a personification of all, some would say the worst bits of me, some would say the best bits of me. But
I was really skeptical about this whole character thing. I thought, it's going to seem forced. But when Dal Jif didn't work, and you'll go into that. But the character thing now has kind of won me round because I think is it the best or the worst? Are we saying the best or the worst?
I think it's an argument. So it's the volume turned way up, dialed up to 11 on the worst and the best of his personality.
It's almost not like acting.
It
is genuinely it's facets of your personality. Genuinely, yeah. But sorry,
dialed up to
11.
Yeah.
And we've always had the idea to use the character Jif Bung in his own videos. And before I think Off the Grid was even a thing, we had the idea for Dal Jiffer Bung.
Well, yeah, for some context here, Jif Bung was just a nickname that we'd given to him because in the conversation that went down, the infamous conversation between two of our friends, JC and Tad, who hopefully you'll be seeing on the channel anyway, we're having a conversation, we're talking about working out, and...
He was talking about... I know the conversation because I've had to explain the story about 8 times.
Okay, yeah, explain the story, yeah.
So between yourself, James Kane and Tad Walker, we're all discussing getting very attractive girlfriends or chatting up very attractive, all at different levels because some of them are in relationships and stuff like that. They weren't all trying to cheat on the wives or anything like that. It's nothing like that. They were just talking about getting attractive.
What is going on?
Yeah,
okay,
they're
right.
I didn't want to get the wrong idea. They're all talking about getting attractive females and why certain people don't get them.
Oh, okay.
And it came
why
up,
certain people don't get
attractive.
Hot
why they're not interested. So when you're on Tinder and stuff, why a really hot girl would not be interested in you.
Yeah.
And the reason it came up was what I wanted to say is because you're not gym buff. You're not that sort of... When they look on Tinder, they're just looking for a body.
You're not a hot guy.
So I went... The reason...
What you're saying is hot people attract hot people.
Yeah.
Which...
Especially in the current world of social media and stuff where you can just flick. You don't even have to get to know anyone. It's so vain.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way. It's just the way the words go on. It's very...
Yeah.
So what I wanted to say was that they get them... You don't get them because you're not gym buff.
No, your words were...
But what I said... was you won't get the hot
girls.
No,
your words were we can't. What you wanted to say was we can't all be gym buff.
Yeah, we can't because we can't all be Jif Bung, which leaves it out.
And why did you say that?
I was trying to say gym buff, and it came out.
Oh, you did the first letter.
Yeah, he was trying to say, to make it clear, we can't all be gym buff. But what he said was we can't all be Jif Bung. Which is the...
So you're telling me that your character Jif Bung is born out of the idea that he's a He-Man type character who's attractive to all females on the planet?
Well, I think originally...
It's born out of a slip of the tongue.
Originally, these guys found the name hilarious. The fact I'd said it and messed up, hilarious.
I can see that,
Now, while this was already going on, Tad and JC enjoyed mimicking an extremist version of me.
Okay.
They just...
he was an idiot, wasn't he?
They just liked copying my voice to an extreme. And that sort of voice that you will see on Off the Grid, that sort of nasal...
Is that voice. What they used to do, is it?
Yeah, they used to copy that, but with a vape, going... and say some sort of quip.
Is there anyone in your friendship history that hasn't made a habit of picking on you?
Not really.
No, you attract.
Oh, no, actually, no.
No?
In Cheltenham, I was all right.
I see you're popular in Cheltenham, but anywhere else,
Yeah,
you kind of.
there just seems to be Chester. But
What is that about?
It doesn't start well when your initials are BJ. So I
No, okay, but that's quite
So
immature though. You could laugh that
already-
off, couldn't you? That's pretty.
Yeah, but I already started
That's
from
pretty
there, so
below
I
the
just
belt,
kind of
you know.
got used to it, and then I reinvented myself when I left. When I
Yeah.
come back, I've got the same friends that were here when I was called ABJ.
Same old friends, yeah.
So
yeah.
it's the same group. I've known Chris, Tad, and
Yeah,
to
yeah,
To be honest, you wouldn't have done it until you came.
No,
into
I
that
wouldn't have
group.
done it. It's
And
like I say,
people
it's-
outside
yeah.
this initial group that I went to school with.
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
It's just because we're all friends. Well,
You may even find that the comments start, taking the piss out of you as well, because
they might do, but let's be honest, there's not that many people listening. So back to Dial Geoffrey Bung. So
well, this character was developed, wasn't it? And then when we filmed off the grid,
Yeah.
which was an idea someone had just said. Someone said to me at the time, oh, that's really off the grid, that. Oh, no, they were saying...
I go off the grid.
Yeah, you go off the grid. Because, he would just disappear, for weeks, and we wouldn't know where he was back in the day
Yeah?
before he lived with me. We wouldn't be able to get in touch with him. We'd say, oh, he's off the grid.
Ah,
And then
okay.
it just popped,
Right.
the whole thing popped into my head, off the grid with Geoff Bung, and I was just thinking straight away, just oh my God,
Yeah,
that's a Ray
yeah.
Mears show,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a what's his name, Bear Grylls,
Yeah.
and that kind of show, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
But we then kind of came up with the Bung verse. It was always coming around with Bung It in the Oven had kind of come in where he'd have his own cooking show.
That one I liked. I do
And
like
it-
that one.
and
We're
it-
still doing that one, aren't we?
Eventually. It
Well,
is.
that hadn't been developed at that point, because what we failed to realise that was, we were kind of calling you Geoff Bung, but what we didn't realise that there was separation between the character and you, Adam, are not the same things in terms of our content. So we had this idea for Dial Geoffrey Bung, which was an Agony Aunt show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry, we did. Yeah, we should come back to that. Really, yeah, that didn't work out too well, did it?
Well, we didn't really know the character of Geoff until we put Geoff Bung off the grid, and I was able just to improvise, have a few drinks.
I think that's the key, though. I think that's what we did wrong, and this is maybe a bit too much for the podcast. But I think what we did wrong was we tried to script something that actually is just a facet of a natural part of your personality. we tried to script it, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
And then we went out in the forest and did.
Let me get on with it.
And then you just kind of that's kind of the point at which I thought, okay, the character thing can work because it is actually just part of your personality, not something that you're forcing out. You know.
100%.
Yeah.
And so, just I guess for some context about Dial Geoffrey Bung, do you want to explain what that show was?
So the show was that we were going to get audience members, which was another issue. The fact we don't have any at the start. So
but we had a lot of questions from.
but we had
different
gone out
we
there and got
did,
a question. Was for Geoff Bung to answer Agony Aunt questions. So we did attempt to record it, but the character of Geoff Bung hadn't properly been. I think you need to test him in off the grid and put him in situations before you ask him questions.
Yeah.
You can't, otherwise we were getting confused over asking Adam the question.
Yeah, because who
and
is he? Who is
Yeah,
he? He needs to be
what would he
defined.
say?
Yeah.
So, which is why it's not necessarily a show that's completely gone. It's just a show that we're going to put on the back foot till Geoff Bung is out there.
Yeah,
and you
fully
know who he
established.
is and you realise
Yeah.
what sort of questions you want to ask this guy.
Yeah, and I guess because it was kind of a blend of you and the character. It was hard to kind of frame it, wasn't it, and think this isn't working. It's not right in that
So I
sense.
assume you quite panicked because you actually saw.
It was
Dial
horrible.
Geoff
It was horrible.
first.
Yeah.
I watched because we were stood out. We went out. It was a miserable day. We stood out. We went got a subway. We sat in the rain, and I had to do sound and camera at the same time, which was from a perfectionist point of view, which is my downfall. I was hating that, thinking, "Oh my God, this is going to be awful." And then we started to film, and it was awful. And yeah, it just didn't work. It just didn't work, did it?
No,
And it was weird.
It didn't. It's really weird how we're at a low after Dial Geoff.
It was a low, wasn't it? I think back now, and I hate to say it, but it was a low.
It was a low,
We all
yeah.
sort of walked back a bit like,
Oh, this
That didn't
yeah.
work.
yeah, that didn't work. Is this the end?
Because
the other
because
thing-
what we had in our heads was great.
Yeah.
But when it
Yeah.
actually got
Yeah.
in front
We
of the
also
camera,
made the
Yeah.
mistake of we were mixing our own worlds because we had you in it,
Yeah.
which means Chris was in the Bungverse,
That was weird.
which we hadn't.
That was
I've only
weird.
just thought
Well, we
that,
didn't-
and I
yeah,
was
we
like,
didn't-
that was weird.
That-
we didn't think
Yeah.
it wasn't like the Bungverse wasn't a thing at that
No,
point. was it?
but
wasn't.
we had me as Geoff Bung and you, when everything else we'd done is Adam and Chris, which actually thinking back on it now might need to change that. he reads them himself and he's in his own little world.
Possibly, yeah, possibly. If
Or
we
you'd
go back
have
to-
somebody else presenting,
Yeah.
somebody else interviewing, if you like, because you were
Yeah.
putting questions to him, and that was adding a second layer of forceness because you were having to pretend like you didn't know who this guy was.
Yeah.
Like it was going to shock you when he came up with these ridiculous things.
Or I don't even know if we want to present it in that way, because maybe we just take those questions to Fresh Happenings.
Yeah, that might be
and
a
do our
shout.
own
Yeah, that
agony
might be a
show
shout.
on there,
Absolutely, that could be a good idea.
And
yeah,
leave
absolutely.
bung it in the oven
Yeah.
for Jiff Bung's
Yeah,
second
exactly.
scene.
But yeah, we yeah, that was kind of weird. Like we went from an amazing low from Dial Jiffbone to getting down to the quarry and recording off the grid, and then as soon as like you just walked out as Jiff Bung, that was like an amazing high.
Yeah.
So we'd been like the lowest of the lows in the day to the highest of the highs later on, and like filming off the grid. Correct me if I'm wrong, but was that the most fun you've ever had filming?
It's got to be up there. I think it's one of the most fun I've had.
I think
Fun. It was awesome. It was good.
Out of everything we filmed, that is the most fun I've had.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know though. See, I'm spoilt for choice though because that was one of the. You don't often get to see it being filmed. I get to see every episode filmed. So for me, I've got so many to choose from. Every episode I see filmed.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It
Yeah.
was fun. For me, I think the most fun I've had filming for me was probably more was the smoothies episode. The special blend. That was good for me because I didn't have to drink. Well, I did at the end, but I didn't have to. I got to feed you guys smoothies, and it was great fun because it was just like revenge for all the. Well, not revenge, but it was just fun. I'm sadistic. Yeah, that was good fun. But maybe the I don't know, the outdoor shoot was still good though. It was different.
It was
wasn't
different.
Yeah.
It was just. I felt like we actually got to be creative.
Yeah.
Off the grid
Yeah.
kind of falls into what we went back to what we used to do at 16.
Yes.
When you see what we did at 16, it's me being a character on
So you guys had a
camera
nostalgic element
with
to that
Chris
then?
filming it.
I
There was
think
a
so.
nostalgia
Yeah,
there.
I think
Right,
so.
right,
Yeah, that was a
right.
proper nostalgia trip.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
you'll see it when you see the videos at 16.
Right.
It's set up as exactly the same.
Right,
It's
okay,
me being
okay.
a random character with Chris following me around with a camera. So it'd be cool for you to see.
Yeah, I would be good actually. Yeah, I would like to see
Yeah, the
that. That would
DNA
be
of
good.
Off the
That
Grid
would be
is in all of our earlier footage, isn't
Right,
it?
okay, yeah.
So that is
Yeah.
really, and I think that's really our creative output that we always strived for, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Was that, and Major Happenings is really everything that Major Happenings does facilitates that little portion that we get for ourselves, which is that creative
I've just
aspect.
thought, what was the name of James's hunter in the Sasquatch?
It was
Manfred Mann.
Maxwell Man to the max.
That's it. He might need to meet Jiff Bung at some point.
Possibly.
The other thing that I thought was good about that shoot, though, to come back to it just for a second, was that after the low of Dial Jiffbung, that was a kind of a reaffirmation that actually it could work.
Yeah.
That was the big thing that I took from that, because I obviously didn't link to the nostalgia because I wasn't there in the same way you guys were. But for me, the shoot was good because it was you'd been through the low, and then you sort of realise that no, this can work. It's okay. It's not. We're not going to flop, And that's probably a big tip for people who are trying to start YouTube. Expect the lows. They are.
Yeah.
They're hard to get through. You sort of come away after the day and you think, this is this.
Don't be scared to scrap stuff. Don't think that all your eggs have to be in one basket. If it doesn't work and you're not happy with it, you don't have to release it. Do something else. Give it another go.
Yeah, totally. Don't feel like you're closing doors on
I'm
keep your
quitting
options
YouTube
open.
because this one idea didn't work.
Yeah, just because one thing didn't
Something else.
work. Yeah, we've definitely found things that do work, but we've certainly been through a lot of things that don't work, and that's
which I
that's
think
helped.
is a perfect tangent onto our other content, especially with Fresh Happenings and Retrograde and Rank Bank, is how we've kind of planned the channel. And we had a lot of discussion about the names Major Happenings and Fresh Happenings, which probably confusing to some people.
We had some feedback, we did.
And also, when we were originally discussing it, we was just like, why isn't every video just Major Happenings and stuff like that? But I think what we wanted to do was launch a channel that is fluid in its content. So if one day we were to cut Fresh Happenings,
it wouldn't be the death of the channel.
it was not the death of the channel.
No,
We just get to move something else into Major Happenings, because Major Happenings is umbrella. It's our
It is.
production, isn't it?
You know, it's the umbrella corporation of the Resident Evil. Yeah, that's you know, that's what it is, isn't it? You know?
That is it. Yeah, yeah.
That is exactly what it is.
With all our content, like we're kind of treating it like a bit of a. We said this in the trailer. It's like a TV channel or a Netflix, isn't it? We're commissioning shows to run for 6 episodes, and then we see how they do.
Yep.
If they didn't do that well, we'll probably cut them and move something else into the slot. You know.
Yeah.
So if Fresh Happenings was kind of petering or plateaued, or you know, certain episodes were performing better, we might look at making that a show on its own, or making that a show.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what it's there for, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Fresh Happenings is the catch-all, isn't it? I think we'll get to Fresh Happenings in a sec, because I want to talk about. I think to close off the podcast, talk about our favourite moments of Fresh Happening so far.
Okay.
But we'll quickly talk about the Rank Bank and Retrograde.
Yeah.
We've only been able to do one shoot on them as of recording this so far.
I kind of see these as the birth child of each of you, these 2 shows.
Yeah, so they're kind of like our separate things, aren't they? Like mine, Retrograde is mine, which is very much like an appreciation show. We're talking about one subject in particular, how much we enjoy it or hate it. And there's documentary segments in there, so it's a bit of a beast of a show in that way, but it's something I hope I can really highlight some editing skills on it, and also bring other collaborators into the channel. That's really what that show is for at the moment, is to bring other people on. So it's not just mine and yours faces that we're seeing all the time, it's other people as well, which is what we want Major Happenings to be. We want it to be an ensemble. So Retrograde really is the gateway to that, isn't it? So I'm excited to do more of them. How do you feel about the Rank Bank?
Rank Bank is the complete opposite. So whereas you said Retrograde is the beast, Rank Bank is probably the baby, as it's going to be our shortest video. You're saying you're going to have loads more people on it. We're cutting people out of mine.
Yeah.
It's just me.
It's just you.
And
It's your dream, really,
it fills the other gap.
Sorry. I'm going to stop it now.
It fills the other gap, because we said we wanted
Yeah.
something for each of the people who are on YouTube. Some people like to sit there for an hour and have maybe do some housework and have it play for an hour. Some people want that sort of 20-minute video for a journey. And some people want that 5-minute, I like to call it the poo video. That when you're on the toilet.
You do like to call it the poo video. I've never really been a fan of that terminology.
But it's that sort of, I've got 5 minutes, what's on, you can flick through your Facebook wall, watch it, and it's not too long for you to watch. So we wanted to get that, and I love lists. I've always loved lists. When we were doing Bad Pasty, I used to do lists within the other shows. And this one, I've just been let loose. You guys have literally gone rank whatever you want. So I now just do bizarre lists, and that's kind of my baby. And a lot less editing than you've got to do, because there's only about 50 minutes of footage cut down to 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, I think what's great about Retrograde and Rank Bank is they're hitting 2 different things at the same time, aren't they? There's a lengthy discussion piece video with documentary segments and a quick hit list video. So with both of those going, like, we can see 2 forms of audience there that might like those things, and which of those might work. You know, and I really like that we're tackling different areas of YouTube at the same time, which is cool. And then we got Off the Grid doing its own thing right in the centre there.
Off the Grid is really doing its own
Off the
thing.
Grid is just nobody really knows what that's going to do next. That's kind of like just no one's really in control of that one, are they? We're just kind of seeing where that goes.
Yeah, well, we've got writing sessions planned for Off the Grid, which is interesting.
Do.
So that's a whole. We've got different arms going out on Major Happenings, which is great. Should we talk about Fresh Happenings?
Let's round off the Fresh Happenings.
Let's talk about Fresh Happenings,
Yeah, so like it's been, we've done, looking at our content so far, and then just like looking at it all as a whole, it's so varied, isn't it?
It is. I have my favourite aspect of that variation is definitely the challenges, and I can't wait to start bringing forfeits into that, because I think that's going to be awesome. That's probably where I get my kicks. I like that. That's the best part for me. But but again, the variation part of that is also a contribution from everybody's mind here. It's not a one size thing, is it really? That
we all kind of get to choose our own episodes.
You get to slot in the odd history segment.
Yeah, we've had one.
We've had one. Which is,
one already when you come to listen to this.
Yeah.
We may have more by the time this is released.
Yeah.
But there's definitely been one so far.
I think, I like looking at the variety of it. And I think my favourite ones, as is everyone. Oh, look, there's a brush out there.
Adam.
You
said you were going to pick them off.
This is
he painted this table and he said
I have picked off.
He painted this and I said, I can see loads of bush hairs there. And he said, oh no, when the paint's dry, they'll just come off.
That's
for the
where I
context
was.
of the listeners of the podcast, Adam painted this table and there is tons of paintbrush hairs all over
There
it.
was tons of paintbrush hairs. There's now one that you've just removed.
I've just picked one off, so
What's
I
that?
can see a few
That's
more.
where a
I
hair
think.
was. They're all where hairs were, because the paint goes up where the hair
I'm sure
was.
I've seen one in this corner. I'll find it later. Never mind.
At the minute, their count is one.
Okay.
I know they're both saying there are loads, but they can't find it. There's no proof to that.
Yeah, what I like about Fresh Happenings is that we can do anything with it. I think when we originally discussed it, we were like, okay, we need that show where we can put anything on it and see what works, and that's really what gets us to trial stuff like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, the big hits for them so far has been very much the interactive episodes. Everybody loves them.
Yeah.
Extractor is the big hit so far. Obviously, I mean, that was our first video.
But it's also
anyway.
video number one.
It
so
was.
It had the hype
was.
train behind
But
it.
Beauty Tips has also done very well.
Beauty
That's
Tips is
that's
very
not number
popular.
one. That's similar to
But even stuff like the recent one, like the Royal Wedding one, a lot of good people like that as well. You know, we were covering something close to when it was happening on the and it was released close to when it was happening, and it was just very quick, very easy, very fun.
I think what we were talking about before actually, I know we keep talking about tips and whatnot, and that comes into it, and I keep thinking of things that I've learned as we go along, and one thing is with the Royal Wedding, spaghetti marshmallows, the videos that, if you are doing YouTube, the videos that you do that you think when you've shot them are going to be complete flops, in our cases, in my opinion, maybe just mine, I don't know about you guys, but the ones I thought weren't going to work have ended up working arguably the best. So it's one of those things, don't scrap something necessarily before you've edited it.
Yeah. 100%. What are your favourite Fresh Happenings moments so far, Adam?
Moments, I really, really enjoy, and I can't wait to do it again, the zombie survival video.
Yeah?
Because I love how differently our minds work, and I think that, as a good introduction to how our minds work, is a brilliant video for that example.
Yeah, I think so. It's an interesting point you bring up because I think some of the feedback we've received from people is our chemistry on screen. I think, which was a surprise to me and you as well, I guess, because we've known each other for so long.
Yeah.
I think even you said, Jeff, like early on, like,
comes across.
the chemistry that we have is like really the backbone of those videos.
Yeah, it comes across well.
And I think that was quite surprising to us, wasn't it? Because we didn't realise how we were.
We were just like, right, we need two people on screen. There's
It
two of us
does.
here. Looks like
doing-
both of us are doing it.
Yeah, and so I think that's one of the cool things that we've actually we actually do come across all right on camera. Obviously, there's probably a million better YouTubers out there than us, but I think for our videos and what we're doing,
I think I said early on that one thing that I think would have been hardest to nail would have been the on-camera chemistry, and even though there are far better YouTubers out there, plenty of them, that was something that I think you could have easily done wrong, and no matter how much you learn about other things and whatnot, if you don't get that right, it would have been really hard. But I think that is right. I think that is right, so I think that's why we do quite well, to be fair to us,
Yeah, for sure.
So there we go. That was the Lock-In Podcast 1. I hope you enjoyed that.
It's been a really good chat, hasn't it?
Yeah,
it's
it will always
weird. I
be
feel like
this.
I've been in a psychiatrist's room for the best part of an hour, and we've just like...
That's kind of your history of the channel.
They won't all be like that.
Next time it's going to be way more, probably sticking more along the why you're wearing a coat vein, or what do you think of this in the news
I
vein.
think we'll just we'll keep this podcast quite loose. We'll have random topics. We'll do a bit of housekeeping. We'll talk about the channel a bit. And we'll talk about other things.
I guess you can see it as your chance to kind of listen to, for example, what we've forgotten already, we can look back in the footage. It was the idea about, the collaboration between 16-year-old you and Adam and 16-year-old me.
Yeah.
You might get an insight into how some of these shows are born, I mean, it might be a thing we do now, and we've literally just thought of that now. So, that might be something we could use this for, is just to try and come up with random ideas as we talk. That would be quite cool,
First time on camera, Jeff. Well, bar a few things.
Yeah.
First lengthy time on camera.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Hated it. Awful. Yeah, get me off. Yeah, terrible.
Okay, well, is that a wrap till next month?
That is a wrap. Thank you for joining us.